I'm gonna go to studio mode, and I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna click here. Oh, it's now capturing. Okay, here we go. And now we're gonna change our title to Motion Sickness 1 Starting Avian. Here we go, here we go. And we're switching the category for the Witch of the Holy Night. It was a winter's day 8 years ago. I hate Nasu's writing. Here we go, here we go, here we go. I don't like Nasu's writing. I don't like Fate. Well, I never read Fate. I don't like Tsukihime, but I enjoy Tsukihime, okay? I enjoy Tsukihime, but I don't like it. It's a mature rated video game that may not be suitable for some viewers. Excuse me? Didn't it said on Steam that this game has no music? Has no wait, does it really has no music? No. Oh my fucking god, it's already started like dog shit. Sorry. Don't shit on VN. I'm actually here. I'm playing it for very noble reasons, but which I will not reveal until the next stream, unfortunately. Hold on, store page. Witch of the Holy Night. A tale told with vivid colors and rich sound and classic Type Moon visual novel. Don't even talk to me. Type Moon, known as a widely popular mobile game Fate Grand Order. Shut the hell up! What? Fuck, I hate Fate Grand Order. An epic visual novel Tsukihime. Really? You put Fate Grand Order in front of Tsukihime and you didn't even mention Fate Stay Night? I hate this. Why is gacha is like a new norm? Why? Anyway, it's released a remaster of 2012 hit Witch of the Holy Night. Essence experience a coming of age story set in vibrant busting 1980s, which follows an innocent young man, oh my god, of course it does, and two young witches, in quotes. Updates added since the original release, including motivated, fully voiced characters, as well as visual remastering for HD, bringing the experience to life with unparalleled quality and fidelity. Masterful manipulation of visual elements imbues combat scenes with nail-biting tension, but also breathe life into characters' everyday activities. Animated graphics elements bring an entirely new level of depth to the reading experience as well. I saw a VTuber that I watch sometimes playing this game. Not connected to why I wanted to play this game, to read this novel. It's actually, this novel was on my list for like very long time, because the first ever game I played on my stream was Tsukihime. I read the whole entity of Tsukihime, and I think it really helped me at the time to be like, to get comfortable in speaking English, because before Tsukihime I did not speak any English at all out loud, like ever. But I think my English was already like alright. It wasn't great. Sometimes I find like essays that I wrote for my English exam in high school, and I think I it was like next year after high school when I started streaming, maybe not. I do not remember. And sometimes I would reread them, and my English was just horrible. And then like the grammar is so bad, and I still don't know grammar, and it's so much better than it was before. Anyway, there is an element of Tsukihime that I like and I enjoy, but overall I think Tsukihime was like dog shit. It was pretty bad, and it was also an eroge, right? Tsukihime is an eroge, so I played an eroge on stream. I did not get banned, and then I got cocky because of that, and then I got banned when next time I played an eroge. Anyway, it's all kind of worms that informed a bunch of my decisions, and unfortunately I don't have them. And I remember my setup while playing Tsukihime was so much different from from how it is now. Like, I used to have one monitor and nobody would watch me. Not that now somebody's watching me, but before it was like zero people at all, and it was cool. It was cool. It was cool. Anyway, I didn't like Tsukihime. And I'm gonna talk about this next time. I really want to make like a slideshow because before starting this, before doing this visual VN, I was like, oh, I need to watch Garden of Sinners. So I watched Garden of Sinners, and I want to like write a proper, not review, but like pull my thoughts into a text and make like a proper prediction towards this VN and all of that. I don't know, because on a timeline of Nasu's writing, right? He wrote Garden of Sinners, aka Kara no Kyokai. Then he wrote Tsukihime, and at the same time after that he wrote Witch of a Holy Night. Wait, when's Fate? When the first Fate game come out? Should I just go to Wikipedia article? I'm sorry, we're doing a lot of Wikipedia articles today, but I don't know, I just want to yap a bit and get the motion sickness out of my system. Nasu. Is Nasu has writer, unfortunately. Also, like, why is there image of a woman here? Nasu is not a woman, like, I'm sorry. Nasu's 52 years old! Oh shit, isn't there a fate declaration going on right now? Oh fuck. Isn't there like fate, strange real, strange fake? Fate ongoing. Fate serious, fate stay night, fate strange fake, strange real, strange fake stolen from Ace Combat. Oh, this is a light novel, really? Ryogo Narita won Golden Prize in the 9th Genki Novel Prize for Bakano. And his series Durarara, series that I both watch and do not remember any of it. That's fun. Blah blah blah. Anime. 2020. Oh yeah, for Strange Fake, it was very weird. How the episodes come out, right? Anime television, Aniflex event, blah blah blah. Whisper So Down, blah blah blah. Film premiered on July 2, 2023. 2023. The first episode aired during the annual Fate Project New Year's Eve TV special on December 31st, 2024. Also, it was just like right here, though it had a live broadcast of the Fate 20th Anniversary Sharky. Some dedicated fans like rewriting Fate Wikipedia article for it to be up to date. Oh, but your Fate Wikipedia article was outdated. Sorry, though it had a live broadcast on the Fate 20th Anniversary showcase in Hollywood. It's like it's like when Muppets go to Hollywood. The same was like Saber shit. Saber goes to Hollywood. It's good. Yep. On November 23, 2024. Oh, holy shit. Hollywood got Fate first. Later episodes starting from the second episodes were originally set to premiere in 2025. Oh, we're not in 2025, we're in 2026. Holy shit, I thought it was recently, my bad. But later delayed and eventually premiered on January 10th, 2026, so 8 days ago. An opening theme song is Proband, performed by Who Gives a Shit. Oh, and with a guy from Men in the Mission. I know the guy. Crunchyroll has licensed it for streaming. I don't give a shit about Fate Strange Real, man. Come on. Be Strange Real. Come on. Here we go. More water. Kunihiro Nasu Kunihiro. Known better as Kinoko Nasu. Really? Is a Japanese author best known for writing the light novel The Garden of Sinners, an original novel Tsukihime, and Fate's Tides, and co-founder of Type Moon. Nasu graduated from blah blah blah. Biography does not give a shit. Tsukihime was 2000. Oh, Kagetsu Toya. Wait, do we give a shit about Kagetsu Toya? I never read Kagetsu Tora. Big fan. Fate Stay Night was 2004. Okay, yeah, absolutely wrong. Mahotsukai no Yoro was 2012. Oh, and there's Tsukihime remakes. I completely forgot about those. Oh, but they're not fully in. Yeah, remake of Tsukihime Near Side Road and Far Side Road. Near Side is Ciel and Arcade, and Far Side was Kisuka Hoku and Akiha? What's main character's with Shiki's sister name? I do not remember, and I don't care. Oh, considering the characters and the continuity, it says that The Witch of a Holy Night is a continuation of Tsukihime, and it shares a character who... Wait, is it? Wait, I don't actually know. So it shares a character with Tsukihime, who was a mentor of Shikitono in the beginning of Tsukihime, right? What was her name? She had like a red hair, right? And she was cool. I liked her character design. Oh, here we go. I have to say that if everything is in Fate writings of Nasu suck us, what doesn't suck us is character design. I think out of all animation media ever, Fate has like Fate and all the stuff where this specific illustrator worked on has very like incredible character design. Like character design in Fate is just like the most... It's good. It's just subtle and it works very, very well with characters. I really, really enjoy it. Maybe it's because of the contrast of supernatural entities wearing like everyday clothes or something like this. It's very nice. Sorry, my thoughts are all over the place, and yeah, I wish I made the slideshow that I was meant to make. But I was like, oh, I'm gonna finish Outer Wilds, and then I'm gonna play Fate. Yeah, sure. I'm calling you Fate, but you know what I mean. I should say Tsukihime. Oh, I have so much to say about Tsukihime, and about Garden of Sinners, and about all of this. It pisses me off. Okay. Phew, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna start it today, and it's gonna be like an introductory into a VN, and we're gonna be... Oh yeah, also Nasu wrote a short story about in 4 to 8 Shibuya Scramble, which I did not know until a streamer who I watched was like, oh yeah, I know Nasu. Somebody asked the streamer about Nasu, and he's like, oh yeah, I know Nasu. He wrote a short story for Shibuya Scramble. It was like the worst piece of writing I ever read in my life. And I was like, yeah, that tracks. And I'm saying that Nasu's writing sucks, but I'm not saying why. And I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it before, you know, I don't want to do it outside of my like slideshow because I want to bring up the examples and like everything. Oh, I wonder if I'm just like gonna start the VN and immediately head first stumble upon like the stuff that I do hate the most in his writings because like this little morning when she understood the value of life for the very first time. Man, I'm excited about this. I'm trying to prove the point that I'm not just here to shit on it. Like I'm excited. I'm excited to see how they wrote the novel to like fulfill some modern standards of writing. I'm excited, but I I don't want to shit on it nonstop. I want to like it. There is positive qualities that I enjoy in the Tsukihime, like I enjoy the urban magic and I enjoy the setting and I enjoy, everything. But just, I don't think Nasu's writing is any good. And even though it has a lot of good ideas here and there, it's never fulfilled in a way that is satisfactory at all. Oh, I don't know. Let's just start. It's an introductory chapter. I'm gonna cut it off from the Outer Wild VOD, and I'm gonna put all the Outer Wild stuff in like one big VOD, and all the Tsugihime gonna come out probably like after Outer Wilds. Do I wanna have like, oh, here we go. I don't know. I'm gonna figure out whatever. Let's just read the novel. Let's just read the novel. Oh yeah, I wanted to see if there is sexual content. Maybe on Wikipedia it says something about sexual content. Uchiwa Holy Night, Mohotsukai no Yaro. I speak Japanese, by the way. Sorry. Sometimes shortened as mahoyo is a Japanese visual novel developed, published by Type Moon. It was first released in 2012, April 12th in Japan, and the Chance Remaster version with voice acting and updated graphics was released by Aniplex worldwide for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 on December 2022, and on SteamWare in 2023. It's a kinetic novel. Oh. Oh? It's a kinetic novel. Really? It doesn't have roots, does it? Oh! The game is a prequel. Oh, it's a prequel. Okay, that does make sense. Oh. Okay, actually no, I'm faking. I'm faking the surprise. Aoka Ozaki. The game is a prequel to Tsugihime and explores the backstory of Shikitono's master, Aoka Ozaki. It's a prequel? For some reason I was like sure that it's a sequel. Okay, it's a prequel. And Aoka Ozaki is a witch, and she taught Shikitono. I remember it very clearly despite playing it in 2022. It was 4 years ago, I'm streaming for 4 years. Anyway. Yeah, Aoka Ozaki. Ozaki is also a surname of a character who was in Garden of Sinners. Yet again, we're gonna get to it when we're gonna get to it. An anime film adaptation by Unfoldable has been announced. Oh, there's gonna be a movie. This is gonna sound like us. We're not gonna read the plot. I'm interested about sexual content, really? Characters. Oh, Aoka Ozaki was also in Melty Blood. Yeah, in Melty Blood she has like beautiful hair, right? Kinoko Nasu. No way. This guy never watched Victory, probably. Kinoko Nasu was inspired in late 1995 by the first episode of the non-Genesis Evangelion to write a novel. Why the fuck Kinoko Nasu has a whole ass novels that is so acclaimed and so beloved? Well, we shouldn't say that. That's not true. But he's somewhat respected in the weeb circles, right? People love Fate for some reason. Look at all the porn. Like, if a if a franchise wasn't beloved, what are we doing? I also have a lot of fucking stupid factoids that I know about Fate, Grand Order. Oh my god. Nero, chill. I don't know how to chill. Actually, I don't know. Anyway, to write a novel, something he had been thinking of doing since he was in high school. This originally wrote Mahotsukai no Yoru on the spur of the moment as a roughly 400-page novel in winter 1986. It pisses me off. It does make sense that those earlier... Wait. Is he really? So is the novel... He probably edited it with the newer releases and the release in 2011, right? Is it? Fuck. It cannot be... Quality of writing here cannot be worse than in Kara no Kyukai. I'm going to shoot myself if the quality of writing couldn't be worse. Please. I'm just sitting here and teasing myself with the writing and being like, oh, it's gonna be shit, or oh, it's gonna be good. I don't know why I'm doing this. Anyway, he tried to enter it into several writing competitions, but was ultimately unsuccessful, leaving the work merely being passed around by his friends. Deserved. Later, Nasu planned to submit to Fujimi Shaba, is a Japanese publisher, but had difficulty keeping the page count under 350 pages and left novel unreleased. After forming Type Moon with Takashi Takeuchi and releasing several projects under it, Takeuchi suggested making Hotsukai no Yaru so it could be released before the next planned project's Girls' Work. Girls' Work is a Type Moon? Maybe it's I don't understand this one. I don't know much about Type Moon, to be honest. In April 2008, a game version of Mahotsukai no Yoro was announced. Unlike Type Moon's previous games, Mahotsukai no Yoro is not an adult game. It features... Holy fuck, there is a... Oh, shit. I was like, oh, it's a girl with a butt on top of adult game. Wikipedia article, but no, there's actually a dick inside her. It features Hirokazu Koyama as a lead artist in place of Takeuchi. Yeah, that's a good artist. The game is set to be released sometimes in 2009, but after several delays, the game received a September 2010's release date. Why are they always late? What's up with this? In September, however, Type Moon announced that the release date has been pushed back to winter 2011. And later to sometime in 2011. A free game demo was made available. Enhanced version. Surely they're gonna tell me in this section that the game was rewritten, right? They could not have been just make the same text from 2011 version, which was the same text from the original script that he wrote when he was like however old, 1996, and he was born. Where's my guys? 73, 1996, quick math, 23? 23? Really? When he was 23. I'm 23. Anyway. Really? Maybe I should write a novel. And then it's gonna be remade and continuously like worse and worse versions of themselves. Well, it's not good. It's not gonna be good to begin with. That's the joke. It features a higher resolution than original PC release, and full voice acting along with English. Windows Power Art was also announced. Two visual novel sequels are planned by Type Moon, though no updates have been made since 2012. The trucks! Anyway. I don't know who this is, but it's under reception. The examples in perspective in this section deal primarily with the Anglophone world, English-speaking world, and another present a worldwide view of a subject. You may improve this section, discuss the issue, blah blah blah. Giancarlo Lamas of Anime News Network said that Witch of the Holy Night has a lot to offer, while Nasu's stiff, wordy narration might be a turn-off. That's an interesting way to say something. The characters, I am so negatively biased. The more I'm saying this, like the more it shows. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to be as open-minded as I could, but I watched like all 11 of the Garden of Sinners movies, and they all were horrible. I was so upset at how horrible, and especially because I'm just keep spoiling myself. Especially because Garden of Sinners and Tsukihime, they reuse the same concepts, right? Because the main character in Garden of Sinners is named Shiki, and as well as in Tsukihime, the main character is named Shiki. Those two reuse the same concept, and therefore you're like, oh, you kind of you're wondering about how justified reusing the same concepts could be, even though like as an idea is very interesting, but on the other hand, because we are in the 21st century, in the year of 2026, it really smells like lack of ideas type thing, right? Because of all the franchising and like in Gundam, a franchise that I'm more intimately familiar with, there is a lot of concept reusage, not within like a singular order of a show, but within the multiple orders. They just all take from original show, original Gundam, 79, and they take, but and they do not make good original stories, and they don't really care. And then we came up with the shows like G-Quacks, which is total garbage. So I don't know. It's just not only it seems to me this way, it also confirms it by all concepts reused in. I don't actually know if Karane Kyokai was first or Tsukihime was first. We can we do a quick Wikipedia search? I'm sorry for doing like such a long introduction yet again. Oh, originally series was released of a chapter released independently online or at Comic Cat between October 1988 and August 1999. Okay, so we have a date here of 1988. So it started in 1998, and if I think the first chapter of this is like definitely so bad. But probably the worst part of it is chapter. Fuck, I should stop talking about this. I have no recollection of anything without like a supporting text in here. Hold on. Tsukihime, 2000s. Yeah, well, it came out in 2000, but it could be actually made in God knows when, right? To first release at the Winter Comic Con December 2000. Okay, so looking at that and seeing all that, Shikitono is the worst version of Shigerugi. So the guy came up with a good concept for a character. Not only he did not develop on this concept, the concept of having a split personality, he also made a worst version of a character in a book that in a text in the writing that came after this that uses the same concept in a worse way. Well, on the other hand, I think Shikitono's version of this is way more developed, right? I think the way, like, was having a lot of roots and a lot of writing. I think Shikitono has, like, Shikitono's split personality has more ways to shine, even though it is horrendous and it's annoying, and the way it's used in the show in VN is really icky for me, and it used to like to put like a shock content. There's a lot of shock content in Garden of Sinners too that is just here to have some sort of shock value and doesn't bring anything to the plot. And I think they used the Shikitono's evil personality only to just like rape women and then have it here, and then do not have it have any impact on the story to kind of. And because it's said that Shikitono has a second personality, I'm sorry for just repeating myself and being not verbose at all. I'm sorry. Or being explicitly verbose. That's how you say it. And because Shikitono has a second personality, and that's an evil personality that does evil things, when he comes back to himself, they kind of make him not being responsible for his own actions, even though it seems to me that he was somehow in control in those situations. But yet again, I wonder how they handle it in a remake. Maybe now they look at this part and was like, whoa, that's pretty icky, we shouldn't be putting it in here, this is 2026. Well, you know, I'm not trying to be like the rapey stuff shouldn't be here. I'm trying to be like, I wish rapey stuff was important for the plot or be accounted about, like more with more respect. Whatever. I just wish that it wasn't used for like shock content value and just forgot about in the next scene or whatever. Anyway, yeah. Should we read the book? Should we read the novel? Anything else to say? Oh yeah, I was reading Reception. Hold on. Which of a Holy Knight has a lot to offer, while Nasu's stiff, wordy narration might be a turn-off. The characters and their interactions more than redeem it, and primary conflict is engrossing and moving. I sure hope so. Siliconera said, who is this? Review Witch of a Holy Night. Okay, cool. Witch of a Holy Night tells a fun and engaging story with a ton of well-written and fleshed-out characters. We're gonna see. I think all the characters in Garden of Sinners were really bad, and there wasn't like a singular character except for the main character who had like a bunch of interesting stuff back in her, but yet again did not did not fulfill anything. There wasn't even an expectation. It just went nowhere anyway. Witch of a Holy Night tells a fun, engaging story of well-written characters, but noted some issues with English localization in particular is set it on edge of accessibility. When was this review? 2023? Really? Okay. United Award reports its 12-chapter novel with high-resolution graphic, fully voice-acted. Wow, because that's what makes writing good. Sorry, and no discernible gameplay beyond changing how the text is displayed, and called a well-written story that sets up a lot of things for the future. Uh-oh. This doesn't sound good, while noting... I'm so negatively biased, I'm sorry. While noting that most of the text is well translated, although a few typos were present, they weren't occurring frequently enough to be concerned. Is there a patch for this? Were they patching typos? Nope. They were not patching any typos. Oh, they were. January 11, 2024. Okay, my bad. They definitely were. Okay. Hardcore Gamer called the novel fun but flawed, and criticized the pacing, saying there are periods that just drag on, but also felt that Witch of a Holy Night does earn its reading time. It's also criticized the localization, noting that there are errant keystrokes or obvious grammatical errors. Okay, this is it. This is the end of a Wikipedia article. Finally, hold on, let me close the window. How are we feeling? How are we feeling about my very brief introduction to game? To Mahotsukai Yaro. I'm gonna say the full name every time because I don't like shortening words. Yeah. I should just be grateful that I'm reading instead of playing first-person video game. Also, I've been reading a different VN in Japanese. It's called Kara no Shoujo. I've been talking about this on stream here and there, right? And I saw how text look in Kara no Shoujo in English versus how good it looks in Japanese. And it always throws me off how bad the font and visual novels are, right? Look at it. This is horrendous. Why does it look so bad? Couldn't it be a better font? Can I get... What does it remind me of? Music. There's no music, champ. There's no music. Voice. Text. Text outline. Read. Text color. Yep. Control. Sure. We're gonna change it while it's gonna go. We don't care about title. It's fun that there's a bookmark. Okay. Oh, maybe we shouldn't have changed it. Okay, maybe we shouldn't. Hold on. I meant it's different. Hold on. Fucked up. Yeah, then it's fine. Okay. It's way better. It was a winter day 8 years ago. That solemn morning when she understood the value of life for the very first time. Nice. Her home was nestled. Here we go. I can read. On the side of a mountain. Around it was nothing but inhospitable wilderness. She had no neighbors or childhood friends to speak of. This is a good size of a text, though, for me to be able to comfortably read from a little farther away. Things like traveling to school or playing outside were more trouble than they ought to be. Indeed, it was a pure water and bright stars. It was a place rich with memories, both frustrating and halcyon. Halcyon? Dictionary! I think the music is okay. Maybe it should be tad louder. We're gonna see. We're gonna see it compared to the voice, I think, right? Halcyon? 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 Halcyon?
Halcyon.
This was loud. Denoting a period of time in the past was idyllically happy and peaceful. Okay. That was only during summer though. Winter in those mountains were extremely frigid, each morning more severe than the last. Her father would drive her into a train station after waiting 10 minutes for the engine to warm up and the iced over window to clear. Mind starting up the car for me? Her father would savor the morning coffee, leaving her to venture outside and row the engine. On the front door she would go, traversing the garden by icy breath, until she reached that old sedan. As always, she inserted the key. Something was saying old sedan kind of feels out of place, but maybe not. As always, she entered the key, then started the ignition. The engine rumbled to life. Just as she proudly finished the humble task she's done so many times before. Numineko? A shrill scream pierced the air. She knew, even though it wasn't human, that the feeble sound was a cry of agony. A few moments passed. Her father came out and opened the hood of a car. Creaking... No, the cat! Creaking fun belts. What does this mean? A monstrous-looking engine, and something that didn't belong. There was a cat, a mother by the look of it, and 2 kittens. The 3 cats being huddling for warmth in the engine compartment. Do kids do it? The mother cat was missing its head. One of the kittens had been managed beyond recognition. Mangled? Beyond recognition by the engine belts, and surely died instantly. The other kitten, its face half covered in blood, panted faintly. Desperately clung to its mother, or rather the chunk of meat that has been its mother, was the last bit of life it could muster. Kawaii-soni, poor thing. Your father lamented their plight. Okay, this is weird. The previous night has been especially cold. After he had returned home yesterday, the cats must have snuck under the hood, drowned by the warmth of an engine. They had slept next to the engine and awoken to a storm of spinning belts. Cars in the engines were not sealed particularly well, so it was not unheard of. 80s. Cars in the 80s were not sealed particularly well, so it's not unheard of. Is this true? It's okay. It wasn't your fault. Your father's voice seemed distant. She could only make out a small tuft of a kitten's gray fur. The rest of it was cracked in the blood of its mother and brother. I can see its skull. I don't want to read the tortured life of a speckled kitten. This is like a second game that was on my list that had an animal death in the beginning, and like the first one I still haven't played because it had an animal death in the beginning. Trembling and possibly blind, it continued to nuzzle against the dead mother's chest. Wait! She took the kitten into her arms and ran deep into the mountain to her grandfather's house. Was it because she was overcome with regret? Or was it the shock of grief? Years later, she still wasn't sure. Fighting back the welling tears, she burst into her grandfather's workshop. Her grandfather was a magician who could do anything. She had never seen magic. She knew that magic was a fantasy straight out of fairy tales, but so was her grandfather. She had to find him. Oh, he was the only one who could help. I suppose you want me to alter this kitten's fate? The cave-dwelling magician said indifferently. This kitten needs our help, she pleaded. Whether it was a simple task or a hurricane labor, her grandfather would not say. Okay? This he simply granted the girl's childish wish like a machine. Big Minako vibes. Oh, beautiful background. Oh no, the girl said. Before she knew it, however, she was holding a tiny corpse in her hands. Her was cold. The warmth of life left its body, and the tears she had fought so hard to hold back poured from her eyes. Regret spread through her chest like an endless gray sky. We were too late. Some things cannot be undone. Beatrice, sorry. Her mind struggled to come to grips with what had just occurred. The last 10 minutes were a total blank. Who she met? What she had known, it was all as if it had never happened. The only thing she was sure of was that life, once extinguished, can never return. Is somebody there? That day, it was her mistake that gave birth to me. Indeed, whatever occurred that day, it was a day of nostalgia and longing. This is the fairy tale of 8 years ago, the day they first met that no magic can ever bring back. Big Minako vibes. Big Minako vibes. Anyway. The house. Who's gonna clear the cat blood from the engine? It's her! It's Aoko. Arrogant, greedy, and able only to destroy. I must be a wolf. Rawr. I don't have regrets. There is no looking back. If my pride has left you behind, my sincere condolences. But at any rate, I suppose it's my fate to die at the hands of a little Red Riding Hood. Number 1, strange one. They sure love saying strange in the Fate universe. Anyway, wait. Is Tsukihime and Fate even in the same universe? God knows. Whoa, look at the window. Oh, nice transition. It was a quiet morning. From her bed, she could see the sky was an ashen watercolor gray. The thermometer displayed 43 degrees Fahrenheit. "43 F 2C 6." Okay, that's pretty bad, that's true. A rather unforgiving temperature for November. The stomach woke her up with a growl, pathetically reminding her that she had completely missed breakfast. But lazy mornings like today were, for her, a blessing. It was already well past 8 in the morning. On an ordinary weekday, tardiness would be unavoidable, but today, classes were cancelled in commemoration of the school's anniversary. Gratefully, she had every intention of taking it easy for the first time in ages. Outside the window was a gloomy gray, and it reminded her more of evening than morning. It wasn't a pleasant morning by any stretch of imagination, but having been up all night until 3 hours ago, she couldn't care less about the weather outside. All she cared about was more sleep. As long as she could spend the morning in bed, that was what was happening outside was no concern to her. You know how they say that writing short stories is really hard because you have to have really good concept and you have to like make everything very coherent and interesting in order to take the reader's attention, and it has to have good resolution, like good short stories, like good joke. It's very rarely that a joke's actually good. But if you write something spacious, if you write a novel or like a very, very long novel, it's, even though you're a horrible writer, it could be good because you can put a lot of different stuff in it, and some of the stuff like sticks to the wall, you know? So as a writer, it seems like writing a novel is like more useful. How to say it? More like it's strategically better decision than write a lot of short stories. Even though like it's not, you may contest it. You may contest this idea, and I would agree with you probably mostly. But I wonder. I wonder if it's the case like this. Also, I read a lot in my free time, fortunately or not. Oh, you wanna know which book I read the last? I'm gonna tell you. I read The Setting Sound by Desai Osamu, which is probably my favorite Desai Osamu book now. It's really good. It's about sorry, words. It's about, I cannot remember a word. It's about like last moments of Japanese aristocracy, and it's written in a very, very good way. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it way more than No Longer Human, and I've been reading some Desire Samuel short stories too. I enjoyed it way more than No Longer Human because it seemed to be like, it's still pretty autobiographic, but it's less autobiographic than No Longer Human. Even though I feel like the themes of No Longer Human is more interesting to me. Like I should be connecting with themes of No Longer Human more than I'm connecting with like aristocracy and stuff after World War II and all that. And No Longer Human is like about how you feel alienated in your own country because of how much Western influence you've gotten as a writer and a person, like intellectual, quote unquote. Like the grip of the West on Japanese throat was really, 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 really like strong at the time, especially in like World War II, right? There is a lot of like there is so much literature, Japanese literature, post-war literature that is about that, and maybe even a bit before World War II. It's still very like that. That's fascinating. My favorite novel from the time. Is it from the time? I think it's somewhat from the time. It's like Showa. My favorite novel from the time is Naomi by Junichiro Tarizaki. It's a very perverted novel, but in its essence, it's also about Western grip on Japanese person lifestyle and all that, and how Japanese person like really wants to get rid of all this Western influence, but they just can't. It's so indebted in. It's so like so deep inside the cultural identity and the cultural body. I don't know. I'm just yapping. Anyway, what was I on about? I had some point before that. Oh, I wanted to say that I read a lot of books, and I've been recently reading a lot of longer books, which is not the books that I just talked about, unfortunately. And with longer books, I noticed that it's very easy to get like fond of characters, you know, because you spend so much time with them and you kind of remember their names and what they do, and you get really attached to them. And this attachment could be exploited in a bad long book pretty easily. I think maybe that's because modern writers make like very long books. It's my theory. I don't know. Well, it's not just like modern writing thing, but you know, I think in modern writing they kind of learn how to exploit it better. I'm having a very hard time talking today, I'm sorry. She shut the curtain. Oh. I can use my controller to switch slides. It's fun. She closed her eyes and tried to let sleep reclaim her.
せめてあと2時間ぐらいは凡庸な夢を見ていられますように。
It's a long sentence. I'd like a nice, uneventful dream for 2 hours. Thank you. Oh, okay. Sorry, water. Blissful slumber found her soon enough. Her consciousness faded. However, your simple request would be mercilessly refused. A faint but shrill sound lingered in your ears. It was the unmistakable ring of a telephone. Minako. Much to her charging, your eyes popped out open out of habit.
こんな日に限って。
Oh, come on. Why today of all days? The telephone was suitable in the foyer of the first floor. Entering it meant walking down 30-foot corridor and going down a flight of stairs. In your sleep-deprived state, that distance seemed somewhere between incredibly far and astronomically far. The phone incessant ringing continues. Incessant? She knew the caller would eventually give up if she ignored it, but she chose to fight the urge. Nice.
アリス出ないの？
Why doesn't Alice answer it? She thought her housemate would get it. Alice is a girl you're like, who the fuck is Alice? She thought her housemate would get it, but she soon had to abandon all hope. The realization struck that her housemate did not have the day off from school and was likely in class at her prestigious little hilltop academy. Washi-washi, the caller proved incredibly persistent. That persistence made the volume of ringing seems ever louder.
もうせっかくの安眠を。
I'm trying to sleep here. Okay, cringe line. Ooh, look at your room. This is so nice. I love the curtains. Oh, and I love the curtains, like close-up that we looked at before. Curtains left reaction. She was left with no choice but to get up, throw a top on, and leave the room. There are more people in the room? Just go naked, come on. Oh, maybe there is. God, it's cold. It's a huge building. She rubbed your hands together and warmed her numb fingers. The mansion's heating system was inadequate, to say the least. I see a radiator. Like, is it really that bad? This is very like Kumineko. Which meant that winter was the very worst of uninvited guests. Never more so the dreamy morning as this, when no one did need to use a thermometer to know how cold it was. It's just 5 degrees. Like, shut up, stop whining. I have -20. And I was out yesterday, so come on. The mansion sat in the mountains and surrounded by dense forest. Winter always arrived here first, before moving on to nearby towns. Come on, you have trees? It's not gonna be that windy then, come on. The robotic ring, and before she said there is a hill here, therefore, like, it's definitely worse for people on the hill who's gonna like get in the middle of a wind. Come on. The robotic ring of a telephone reverberated throughout the long hallway. Yeah, just go for it. The mansion's furnishing had been so perfectly maintained that it made the place feel unlived. What happened to Show Don't Tell? It seems lonelier than it did splendid. Coupled with a dairy morning. I'm sorry, it could have passed for a haunted house. Why 2 little girls live in this huge
幽霊
mansion?
屋敷そのものだけど。
Well, it is a haunted house, I
大
suppose.
体2人で住むには広
It's
すぎ
too
るな。
large for just 2 of us. You motherfucker! Are you stupid? You piece of shit! Oh my god. You had such a good setup with the phone and going like, you literally like showed it right now. Why did you say it out loud? Oh my god. You can see. Fucking Rukishi curse. She counted, whoa, this is just Lukumineko, as well as the pacing. She counted more than 30 rings when it first began. She would not count it. The caller either had a lot of free time on their hands or a good understanding of a house's circumstances. She had strong hunch that it was the latter. The window boy looked, just take the phone! Looked out at the gloomy sky. I know the sky is gloomy! She hastened to catch the unrelenting rain in an act as soon as possible. Maybe I already like fucked myself up by making this half-an-hour introduction that I did, so maybe I should not be critical of this at all. Maybe I disqualified myself for, from being human. Anyway, though she had a feeling that her happy morning might come to a close the moment she caught it. It was here that a series of incidents began. Apologies for the lack of romance to this tale. For whether it be objectively true or merely superstition, it is always from gloomy and unassuming beginning that extraordinary events are set into motion. Okay, the writing here is weird. Like, This is gonna be opening. Can I yap on top of it? Do you know how foreigners When foreigners learn a language, they're like, oh, wait, you cannot see it? Oop. You cannot see it. What? I don't. Why can't you see it? Huh? 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 Sorry, hold on. Shit! I skipped it. No! So this you can see. Really? You could not see... Huh. Um... Okay. Okay, here we go. Can you see it now? No, you can't. Oh, here we go. Okay, we're gonna restart. Hold on, I'm just a little annoyed. Yeah, will it work? Okay. Sorry. Damn, sorry, I wanted to fix it. That's good that I did. Okay. You know how when you learn a foreign language and sometimes you see people who like learn foreign languages in universities and they got really good at it and they always use words that you never heard of before in your life and you're like, huh, I don't really think Americans use those words. Like they're clearly American, and even in writing, I don't really think some. Is this trying like? I wonder if the original text trying like to use language that would be used in the older time in like 90s, but I don't think the 90s speech that much different from a modern one. I don't know. Maybe. Look at her, it's Alkaline, she's going to school. Damn, the art is beautiful. It's so nice. Love the 3D car, that's not really in perspective correctly, but sure. It's not about being correct, it's about believability, okay? Ooh, look at this nice cover for the stock, for the catacombs, for the what's the word? Where Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live? Underground? I don't know. Good background artist. Ayu? The hit K-pop singer Ayu? You name a person hit? Maybe? Do you think they would steal your red umbrella first thing first if you ever leave it outside the convenience or something? This looks nice. Yes, all of Fate stuff, all of Nasu stuff has really good sense of being in a city and being like urban, which I enjoy. It feels quote-unquote authentic. And felt this way in Garden of Sinners too. Like in anime. I like cities. I like city. I like rural magic and stuff like that. Or urban magic? Not rural. Urban magic? Witch of the Holy Night. The Holy Night. This is a nice logo, right? Little eyes, looks good. Looking good. I cannot read this. The rain had subsided somewhat by the time she reached the school. It says, high school, right? Gakujo? Taka. I don't know how to read the kanji. And I don't know how to read first three kanjis. Third, why kanji for 3 in here? I don't know. The rain had subsided somewhat by the time she reached the school gate. Sunlight seemed to be playing peekaboo behind the clouds on a distance. In the distance, it looked like it might be cleared up early afternoon.
と言っても私には関係のない話だけど。
Not that it had anything to do with me, though. The weather reflected her luck. On top of being forced out of the house at such early hours, she had to suffer through a winter rain. I'm getting a bad feeling about this. This sinking feeling she had only grew as she passed through the entrance and headed inside. The presentation is really good. Like the sliding here, this looked nice. The parallax, she didn't encounter any other students along the way. Nor did she see anyone taking part in group activities either. All the doors, reception desk to the faculty room simply read faculty closed. The school had given all of its students the day off, except those explicitly summoned, like her. A fact that irked her more and more the minute passed. You're gonna fight the teacher? She opened the door to the faculty room and headed towards the desk she had visited a number of times before. The men at the desk wore a plain shirt and suit that were nonetheless neatly pressed. Nice. I love clothes is nice. Like this. Slim fragmented glasses adorned his face, giving off an amicable yet cunning air. The mid-mannered image this mid-20s man presented clashed with a cigarette he smoked. He didn't appear to have noticed her yet.
Yamashiro-sensei.
Mr. Yamashiro? She closed the door with a bang. Showing no response to the sudden sound, Mr. Yamashiro lifted his head.
Yeah. Ohayo, Aozaki-kun. Youken wa kiite iru kana?
Hey there, good morning, Aozaki-kun. I guess this means you got the call.
はい。1時間前に自宅で事前に何の相談もなく。
Here we go. Yeah, they called me at home about an hour ago, out of the blue. Grand blue? Having graduated from this high school himself, Mr. Yamashiro is not much older than the rest of the students. I don't think those two things connected. Didn't he went to university? Okay, whatever. For this reason, the students prefer him over the other teachers. Ooh, nice jacket print. Sorry, he always had something interesting to talk about and kept conversation casual. In fact, he seemed more like an older student than a teacher, but she unfortunately didn't share her fellow students' fondness of him. She was in the opinion that the teachers should come across as more austere? Severe or strict manners or attitudes?
Austere.
Austere. Okay, British person. Like an iron fist that could inspire both love and hate in equal measure. Not a body to joke and pal around with. He was the exact opposite of how she felt the teacher should be. It was only natural that her manner towards him would be forced and unfriendly. Not that she'd ever been wired to make friendly small talk.
今日もご機嫌斜めみたいだね。
You're in the fall mood
それ
today.
は先生の気のせいです。今日だけ特別という話ではありませんから。
It takes 15 hours for them to speak in Japanese. You must be imagining it. I am like this every day. The matter-of-fact answer perfectly matched the displeasure displayed on her face. Okay. Mouthful. Her bad mood from having to get up early and the tiredness from staying up late must be collectively made he look positively adverse.
そう
Frau
なら
whatever.
いいんだけどね。
If you say so.
彼にはそう辛く当たらないでくれよ。
Just go easy on the
僕ら
guest,
正
okay?
直どう
To
扱
be
っていいか
honest,
わ
we
か
are
らな
not
いところ
completely
もあ
sure
る
how
し。
to deal with him yet. Oh, you can zoom out and it's gonna just show you. Okay, I see.
そうならいいんだけどね。
Wow,
彼にはそ
okay,
う辛く当
why?
たらないでくれよ。僕らじゃ正直どう扱っていいかわからないところもあるし。そう
If you say so, just go easy to our guest, okay? To be honest, we're not completely sure how to deal with him yet. Maybe a tad louder. Hold on. If you say so, I don't think it got louder, but that's gonna be what we stick with. About this, do you wanna tell me what the hell is going on? Because I have no clue. As Mr. Yamashiro met her piercing eyes, he finally understood the reason behind her tone and slowly put out his cigarette. Let's start at the beginning. What did they tell you over the phone?
転入生の紹介をする
Just what to be introduced to a transfer student. They were a little hazy on the rest, though. One of Mr. Yamashiro's eyebrows stood up, impressed by the brevity of her answer. He could see that she was angry, not because... Are we doing a guy getting to live in a female dorm? Is this what we're doing? Oh, please let him live in a mansion. He has nowhere else to go. And he also doesn't have a personality, but you're somehow gonna be interested in him throughout the whole idea. And not only you, but your friend slash neighbor are gonna also be interested in him, and you're gonna have like a little bit of a rivalry anyway. Shoot me now, if it's gonna be the case. You would see that she was angry, not because she had been called to school on her day off, but because she hasn't been told why she was here. Mr. Yamashiro chuckled sympathetically.
先生これが笑い話
If this was all a joke to you, perhaps I should just go home, Sensei, she said.
いや
Wait, I didn't mean to laugh. That's not a practical joke. We could really use your
本
help.
当に
So, what really is transfer student? So, where there really is a transfer student? My bad? Yeah,
訳あり
but
というか
he has...
難しいというか
How should I put it? Difficult
彼
circumstances.
宗十郎君と言うんだけど
His name is Sojuro, and he's a bit,
僕らが案内してあげるより
well, peculiar, so we thought someone around the same age would be the best student to show him the ropes. She threw him an unamused look. It was negligent of them to be pushing teacher duties on her. Based, true, she's real for that, but she did wonder how exactly the transfer student was peculiar. Maybe he meant the student had behavioral problems, or was it difficult somehow? He was expelled from his last school, Avery. But peculiar, she didn't have the slightest idea what that meant.
ずれてる
You don't hear a teacher call someone that every day. She had her doubts, but swept them aside from now. If you ever have a trouble writing a novel, just write them about high school students, right? That's the great way to do it. This wasn't the time to get distracted by more concerns. The fact remained that this conversation was all the peculiar she could handle. And she needed more information. She was already beginning to fantasize about saying no and curling up in her warm bed home.
一つ質問があ
I
り
have
ま
a
す
question. She actually said, I have one question. Anyway. Nani?
学年は
Ah,
君と
yes,
同
the
じ
second
二
year
年生
student like you. He's well behaved and a good listener. He's not the most energetic individual, but it just means he'll be easier to get along with, right? It's all the same guy. In every single media, it's all the same guy.
青崎君とはクラ
He's
スは
not in
違
the
うけ
same
ど
homeroom class as you, but I'm sure you'll get along just...
そういったことは本人か
I'll
ら
be the
直
judge
接
of
聞
that
き
when I
ます
actually met
そう
him.
ではなく
And none of that
なぜ
answered my
私が
question. Why me? Though her tone was still stern, it was clear that she was willing to cooperate. She had decided to put her feelings of dissatisfaction aside and focus on the task at hand. Karano Kyokai Shikiryoki was like a very stern type, and Aoki right here seems like a stern type too, but I don't really remember a stern type character in Tsukihime. I think Arcade was like pretty childish. CL was surprisingly childish too, even though she seemed like harsher than everybody else. Hisui no Kohoku... Hisui was... I don't remember which one. Kohoku was like... the... not melancholic one, but like... the one that had no expression at any time, and Hisui was the one that was depressed severely, but was actually having fun, pretending to have fun, pretending to be happy. And Akina was like little sister type. This is kind of crazy that there is a character who can just be characterized by the fact that she's little sister. Kind of like needy and weird. I remember a scene in Tsukihime where the underage characters were drinking alcohol. This was fun. Anyway, she had decided to put her feelings of dissatisfaction aside and focus on the task at hand. Forcing herself to act empathetic in spite of her self-absorbed nature was something she was used to. Paradoxically, this force of will was also the reason teacher put so much faith in her. Faith? To a point? At times, that strength shattered expectation, and on those occasions they were left with no choice but to treat her like a natural disaster, and weather it until it passed. Disaster and weather. And weather it until it passed? Okay, weird. This is how Mr. Yamashiro had come to deal with her as over the past year. I'll ask you one more time, Mr. Yamashiro. Why does it have to be me? Pressured by a question without a clear yes or no answer, she answered. He answered. Well, about that. You're probably thinking it's because you're iron-fisted ruler of the student council and are willing to strike down both teacher and student for the good of a school, but you'd be wrong. I can't imagine any other reason you'd call me. Your eyes did nothing to hide her disbelief as she glared at him. Strength far beyond that of ordinary 17-year-old girl, coupled with youthful beauty of one. Shut up! Mr. Yamashiro let sleep a genuine smile, admiring the miraculous balance of qualities. I mean, I'd handle this myself if it was just about pure obligation, but who gets this job has nothing to do with whether they're teacher or on student council. I just felt that you were the only one who would entertain this kind of request without needing to weigh all sides. That's why I insisted. I insisted it be you. Okay, that's why I insisted it be you. Are we missing something in this sentence? I don't know. In other words, he knew she wouldn't say no. Yamashiro sensei. Oh dear, would you stop glaring at me like this already? At least put on a smile for a new schoolmate. Whoa, look how bad this drawn. Anyway, sorry. Maybe it's just very flat back of a chair. Anyway, look, if you're agreeing to help, we should go see him. We already kept him waiting long enough as it is. And because you braved the rain to get here, I'd be happy to give you a ride home. Mr. Yamashiro stood up gracefully. I'm good, thanks, she replied before turning and walking out of the faculty room. True. Fuck them teachers. He had been waiting for about an hour. While he did, the rain shower lightened into a drizzle. His mind wandered as he listened to the sound of raindrops. Raindrops on roses and whiskers of kittens. And white wooden mittens. And something in spring is a few of my favorite things. The room was filled with neatly arranged rectangular tables. He was the only one there. Quite some time has passed since he had brought to this room and asked to wait. Even the best-behaved student might have grown dissatisfied or anxious with the situation by now, but the boy stuck to his spot like a scarecrow. He was chilled to the bone. It was the end of November, and the low temperature in the morning had marked the start of winter. The room was not much warmer. The heater hadn't been turned on. Either he'd missed the teacher telling him to turn it on, or he'd never seen one in his life. Okay, he breathed lightly on the freezing fingers as he aimlessly surveyed his surroundings. This dreary place was apparently a meeting room. The other students might have considered it a wonderful place to meet, but to him it was a drop and overly spacious. It was a lifeless place that reminded him of an arid cave. Stuck in a cold room with absolutely nothing to do, his mind turned to what they wanted to discuss. Unable to come up with a solid answer, he returned his attention to the sound of the rain. Rain hardly resembled the rain in the mountains. Oh, mountain guy, though he could still recognize it barely. Its smell and sound were harsher, but at the end of the day, rain was still rain. So even this world, alien as it was, could have something in common with the mountains. The tribal detail perked him up a little. He liked how the town looked soaked in rain. Naturally, he preferred sunny weather, but he liked rain in its own way. The fog from the rain had soaked up the scent of soil and reminded him of home. It was at times like these that he was able to numb the anxiety the city gave him. But then he let out a discouraged sigh. How pathetic. He's already been here 2 weeks and thought of this hometown still made him sad. It's okay, nothing wrong with that. Perhaps feeling that he was being unfair to his new life, he composed himself and continued to wait patiently. Nice uniform, bro. As if having a passion for distraction, his attention returned to the sound. Is this bandages? Or is it just a shirt? No, it's a child in a shirt. Okay. Or no? Undershirt? Sorry. It returned to the sound of rain once more. Waiting like this didn't seem to be particularly hard for him. He quietly endured the numbing cold and an hour alone with calm, deep breath. As the saying goes, good things come to those who wait. A strong point of his or not, he was astonishingly patient. It was certainly helping him out in this moment. Nice beat. She, on the other hand, was livid. The profile of a transfer student has been explained to her on her way to the meeting room. She was told he lived in his whole life in the mountains without any electricity. Okay, this is fun premise. That meant more than half a civilized society would have been an utter mystery to him. What a miserable level of isolation. How is this even possible in this post-war Japan? He's like Robinson Crusoe. Okay. He had every right to be angry. Is he? Is there not a better, hermit character? His village had apparently remained isolated in the mountains for many years. Couldn't be like Island of Dr. Moro or something? Contact with village in the foothills of a mountain only occurred once a month or so, which was unfathomable in modern Japan. Though expressways and Japan Rail, the old national railways, now span the country like arteries, it wasn't entirely impossible for mountain villages like this to exist, like his to exist. But he couldn't imagine how something born to such circumstances would think or live. You say no electricity, you mean in general, right? Like, he must have the access to public phone. Apparently not. He mentioned how shocked he was by the phones that he started living here. Okay, this was funny. This reminds me of, Ushikoshi games, right? Wasn't there an Ushikoshi VN that's looks exactly like this? With a blue team and everything in the font, this fuck-ass font? We're gonna go back. Really? Really? This was really, this was important. Okay, cool. Apparently not. He mentioned how shocked he was by the phones when he started living here. You know what he said? Wow, telephones are so useful. Couldn't really deny that, could I? She shot a sidelong glance. Is this a comedy? I thought it was gonna be like tragedy, but no, but it's comedy? Okay. One shot his sidelong glance his way as he laughed. It seemed the naivety of a country boy has cheered up Mr. Yamashiro a bit. They probably didn't have police officers either. My family home is up in the mountains, so it's not inconceivable they wouldn't have electricity. But he doesn't even know what school is? Nope. He heard of them, but this is apparently his first time visiting one. Maybe that's why he's nervous? He wasn't very talkative. He's
ああいう
almost,
のも野生児って言うの
what
か
would you
な
call it, feral?
狼に
Like
育
a
てら
boy
れた
raised by
狼少年
wolves. I
みたい
suppose
な
it
あいや
makes this a
大変という話
safari.
だね
Shut the fuck up.
ちょ
Hey, you
怖い
scared me,
な青
Aozaki.
崎
I
君
was joking. Go
冗
easy,
談
okay?
冗談だって
Surely he read
そ
some
う
books
ね
or
大
something?
丈夫
And don't
話してみ
worry,
た
I
感
got the
じ
feeling from
おと
talking
な
to
しい子だ
him
ったか
that he's a nice kid.
なんて
He
いう
almost
か
like, I don't know,
言
cute
葉
little
の通じ
animal
な
that
い
doesn't
小
speak
動物
human.
みたいな感じ
It's extremely fucked up thing to say about the
山
person.
城先生
Your jokes and
その過程
metaphors aren't helping. She gave her blunt reply. She tried to stimulate in her mind what life without electricity would be like, but the thought of it took her sore mood from bad to worse. After all, it was world she had never known. She could understand why the teacher had given up. She too wanted to give up and return to her warm bed, but her good-for-nothing pride was holding her hostage. Not only did the teacher believe she was up to the task, but also she believed she could do it. It wasn't that easy to go back on her word, no matter how bad things looked after the fact. She walked along the hallway, the rain pattering in the background. The meeting room was already in sight. With a furrowed brow, she fixed her long hair in anticipation of meeting the unknown strange within. Her elegant strides were like those of a confident general going into battle.
いや青崎君
Aozaki,
君を信頼してる僕だ
I
けど
believe in you and all, but
念の
I'll
た
say
め
it
確
again.
認しておく
Be
よ
nice, okay?
なんていうか
Can you at least try to smile?
作り笑いは苦手です
I'm bad at faking smiles, but I'll do my best.
そうなん
Really?
だ
That's a
い
relief.
や
I really meant it. It's good to know you're not good at
Aozaki.
everything. You took too. This is too long. Can we just go? Oh, the pacing is bad, isn't it? It's gonna be so bad. Mr. Yamashita's shoulders slumped the second they reached the meeting room. As he put his hands on the door, his eyes seemed to say to her, "Be nice, please." They only made her more irritated. No wonder it's 400 pages long. I already know I'm not the friendliest looking person in the world, but I can't just make myself smile at the drop of a hat. You should have
そういう
asked
インスタントな
to
人
be
付き合い
Maru
は
if that's what you were after. She sighed about her social shortcomings, but then it occurred to her that being called to the school on a day off while sleep-deprived wasn't anything to smile about anyway. She also thought the person responsible for this mess would be better off attending elementary school. It might not be his fault, but neither was it her duty or obligation to do the teacher's work for them. We get it! At the very least, they could have used their brains and organized all this on a normal school day, another complaint she wanted to voice later.
いや
Hate him already. He's my sworn enemy and I haven't even met him. Sorry, but I couldn't care less about his extenuating circumstances. You think this isn't awkward to me too? Honestly, why did this have to happen when I'm so busy? Her powering headache from lack of sleep has boosted her aggression by 10%. No matter how harmless the guy on the other side of the door may be, anyone who disturbs her sleep was an enemy. And just as she was reaching peak annoyance, Mr. Yamashita opened the door to the meeting room. The room slowly slid into view. She didn't care for formalities. She looked straight ahead and stomped into the room. I need to take a break soon. And found herself face to face with the most unusual opponent. A guy. A high school male. Before we go on, let's see from another perspective. Do we really need it? Turning back the clock just a little. I'm gonna take a break right now, actually. I need to, I don't know. I need to put my device on charge, and that's it. Maybe 5 minutes. Is it an adventure game? Is it? Is it? It is indeed visual novel. Okay. Hold on. I wanted to quickly check something. Whoa, not that. We are not out of memory, but damn, I'm 4 streams in. That's crazy. Shit. Okay. Which date is this one? 9th of January. Oh, I have it. Okay. 9, 15, 18, 18 is today. Oh, we have 3 streams in. Wait, really? Oh, and here's the one that was on 12s, which is 2 hours long. Okay, that's fun. Shit. Okay. You don't have to do anything. For some, these words are priceless luxury. For others, they're unbearable torture. Okay, we get it. The guy doesn't like to not do anything. We get it. For the proactive girl, it was definitely the former, though she'd be too suspicious of the motives of anyone giving her such a gift to accept it. For the passive boy, it was definitely the latter, a bitter thorn that made him homesick, though at this very moment his mind was still distracted with the wait for the face to reveal any discontent. Discontent? He maintained perfect posture as he stared at the great sky. He has already waited, hold on. Sorry. He has already waited a whole hour, but figured they must have had their reason for making him wait. And as long as he had the sound of rain to soothe him, he could keep on waiting.
でもそろそろ9時を過ぎるのか。
But it must be 9 o'clock already. Yeah, that seemed about right. He had been vaguely keeping track of time as he listened to the rain. Due to the holiday, the school building was completely silent, except for the patter of the rain on the window. The mood felt as dumb as the air. It was then he heard the heavy chatter of footsteps approaching. Finally, I thought I'd forgotten about me. He could hear 2 sets of footsteps, one heavier set belonging to an adult. He breathed a sigh of relief as the door slid open.
すまないね。
So sorry to keep you waiting. The first person he saw was a man wearing glasses and an awkward smile. That's Mr. Yamashiro, the one who brought him here.
あれ
Hey, where's Mr. Satonaka? I told him to keep you company. He shouldn't have left you here. Mr. Yamashiro scratched his head, looking increasingly apologetic, and then from behind him. Pissed me off that we did not saw her face before the guy saw her face. Anyway, with a lipped expression that made it clear she didn't want to be there, and dark-haired girl with a determined look in her eyes appeared. Here we go, Evangelion. Is it? How does... I do remember how Evangelion starts. How the fuck... Okay, whatever, don't ask questions. So... Gyro gulped, I don't know how to read his name yet. The sound of rain on the window faded into nothingness. Soyu Juro. Write it in katakana, please. That's when he knew. This was how it felt when the time stood still. Oh my god. Oh, it is bandages. Okay. Yes, it's Yanooko. I much prefer an older Awako, to be honest. She blinked quickly a few times and it was taken aback. Why was anyone's guess? The boy was everything she expected a naive country boy to look like. However, she felt something she couldn't understand. Excuse me? Mountains are not country? Wait, are they? Yeah. His eyes widened slightly as if taken back. The reason was obvious. Putting his feelings into words was a different matter altogether, so we will never know exactly what he experienced in the moment. Really? I don't know, if you add a couple more sentences, maybe we get it. That's what did him. He sensed he'd been touched by the hands of destiny.
紹介するよ。彼が転入生の
Allow me to introduce you to. This is the transfer student that mentions Soichiro Suzuki. Shizuki? No. Back.
で、こっちの彼女がしずきくんの案内役。
Shizuki. This is wrong transliteration, man. Come on. Shizuki. It's not Shizuki. There is no... Hold on. I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check. I see sa, su, she, se, so. Yeah, there is no C sound in Japanese. It is she. It is Shizuki. Why are they trying to lie to me? I hate the wrong transliteration from Japanese language. Oh my god. This is like my worst enemy. So true. Like, are you brain dead? Why can you just put an IH in here? Shizuki. Why are we lying to ourselves?
こっちの彼女がしずきくんの案内役。
Shizuki-kun. He says Shizuki-kun. Like, it's here. I'm not deaf, you know? And this is the girl that will be showing you
うちの
around.
生徒会長で休日をして新しい仲間の案内役を買って出てくれた青崎青子くんだ。
Aozaki Yakukunda. She's our student council president and came in on her day off just to welcome you. Her name is Aozaki Oko. Oko Aozaki. Let's go, Oko's here. Why is your hair normal color? I thought she was born with flaming hot hair. His voice and the sound of the rain seemed distant. This is how they first met, such as was their start, for better or worse, like an ephemeral beauty of fireworks. Yeah, was it? Sure. It was commonly believed among the students that Oko was always in foul mood. But this gossip was 90% prejudice, as Oko simply didn't have time to be irritated 24/7. Okay, this is a comedy, you know, okay. The reality was she simply didn't want to explain herself at the time, and therefore seemed angry about something, obvious or not. The idle gossip did, however, lead to her earning the title of one of the school's 7 deadly threats. Okay, the remaining 10% of a gossip was right on the mark. Oko herself often had the feeling that her tendency to feel animosity towards harmless things was akin to what a chronic headache sufferer might experience. Long sentence today fell under the 10%. For today her anger was pure and her childish and selfish display was befitting of her actual age. The meeting room was dimly lit, awash in the colors of the rain. To reduce electricity costs. Sorry, something about this is so funny. School regulations forbid the use of lights during the day. Really? This cannot be legal. All the students killing their eyes for naught? This was the setting of 3 of them found themselves in. Oh, that's why there was no heating. The first impression was that his calm demeanor reminded her of a field of wildflowers. In spite of her perfect posture, his overall air felt placid, tame. His overall air felt placid / tame, even? Okay. And though describing him as meek would be going too far, at the very least he was passive. Typical Nasu protagonist, even though his uniform, she could see that he was thinner than average. His dark hair was unkempt and he came across as wholly forgettable boy. If she had to look at him in more positive light, she would describe him more a young man than boy. Ooh, it was his calm demeanor that made him seem more mature. Was that the cause of August's reasonless reaction? He seems almost too at home in the meeting room, as she was left with the impression that it was her and the teacher, not the outsider, who would have guests here. Ooh. On the other hand, look at her, she's pretty cute. With her antennas masking as pieces of hair, she felt an unidentifiable aggravation building within her, almost as if her right to be here was in question. Oko felt herself raising her natural defenses.
信じられない
Shinjirarenai? The accent I said this word. I'm sorry. What's with me?
私今わけもなく怒ってない
Am I really angry for no reason? She hated not understanding things, her own emotions in particular. It pained her less than you would imagine for a perfectionist like her, but it still knocked her like a thorn on her side. Oh, Zaki, why don't you introduce yourself? Mr. Yamashiro's attempt to relieve the tension was equally irritating. Other than his necktie is also pretty good.
挨拶
Aisatsu. Aisatsu means greetings, actually. Introduce myself, huh? After casting a nasty glance in the teacher's direction, Ako turned to face the boy. From an outsider's perspective, it might have looked like a stare down. Look at him just staring. Look at his bloodless face. Yeah. And in that instant, the culmination of your emotional state hurtled towards the innocent boy and screwed him. His bandages keep moving on his neck. Or maybe the lengths of his neck keep moving from spread to spread. Again, sorry for the wait, Shizuki. It's Shizuki! He says Shizuki! Man... I hate this. Hearing his name, Yujiro came to his senses. So Yujiro. Even this... So Yujiro? It's you Jiro. Juro? Maybe it's G-U-U-R-N-Ro. Sujuro. Okay. The way it's written is so confusing. His stunned gaze shook loose. What does that mean? His stunned gaze shook loose. He okay, whatever. He took a deep breath to clear his head. Chalking it up to nerves, Mr. Yamashiro broke out a smile and turned to the girl standing beside him. I'll do the introduction then. This is the transfer student. Sojiro. He's saying Sojiro.
紹介するよ。彼が転入生の静木宗十郎くん。
Shizuki Sojiro-kun. Shizuki Sojiro. Why is it written like this anyway?
で、こっちの彼女が
And this is our student council president who came in on her day off just to show you around. Her name is Ako Ozaki. Isn't this already happened? Whoa, he loves to yap in this one, okay? Cute. Having been introduced by Mr. Yamashiro, the girl took a step forward. Her eyes were merciless. Her stare and a spoken threat to violently trample her opponent. And he just stares into the space. It's my favorite part. Sujiro, on the other hand, managed to keep his own composure despite the shock at how confrontational she appeared. He had never been greeted quite like this before, but supposed mistakenly that this was how people treated each other in the city. The exchange must have looked quite dramatic to an onlooker. A girl ready to brawl. An earnest country boy desperate to understand. It was a murderous limbo, especially for anyone in Rome with style. Like Mr. Yamashiro, for example. Well, he had thought... Yamashiro reaction. Well, he had thought he had made the right decision in choosing an honor student to help him out. She was in an inexplicably bad mood, and the tension in the air was undeniable. It was this moment that she realized his failure. His realization had come far too late. This is way funnier than Tsukihime in tone, I think. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Maybe Tsukihime is funny. One false move and this girl to whom... This is so... How long are we here? We are 2 hours in. I know I'm reading out loud, but we are 2 hours in and we're still in this fucking scene, man. I already heard all of this. I understand there's a tension. I understand this. Move on. Please do something. We wasted last half an hour to just look at these 2 assholes staring at each other. Come on. Just an almighty joker card could bring either of them fortune and disaster. The sole teacher who had been presented at the time would come to bear the blame for the scandal that ensured. Scandal? I can do this with every word. Scandal is a music group, Joker is the main character of the Persona 5 video game by Atlas. Wow, you two really seem to have hit it off. So I suppose I can leave you two to it then. Mr. Yamashiro laughed nervously as he crept towards the door. I'll be in the faculty room. Stop by when you finished. What's she supposed to do here? Oh, maybe he told us? Did he told her out of screen? Go, sorry. You'll be alright, won't you, Ozaki? What is this flute? You're a student council president. Don't let me down. Love the way the fabric is rendered here. Mr. Yamashiro left, leaving the two of a locked-eye state, one in which one set of eyes was doing all the glaring. Oh, so she's like Asuka. Oh, and then she gonna have the red hair. Okay. All that remained in the room was an artless boy. Artless? And a crossed-armed, guarded girl. He has no emotions in his fucking face. The two lingered in silence. They resembled shogi players agonizing over their first moves, though it was only Oko who was reading so much into the situation. She decided to put her irritation aside. What was she reading? We spent like half an hour describing the tension, and yet we still don't know. What is she reading in the situation? She was just mad. She wasn't like... Was she? She decided to put her irritation aside for the time being. There's no reason to feel revulsion for him in the first place. She's sighing deeply and faced Sojiro. Whatever, it's not like this is the first time Mr. Yamashiro landed me in it. So, what's your name again? But it was nothing if not reproachful, though he had done nothing to offend her, but the boy failed to pick up on it. Incapable of such venom himself. Sojiro Shizuki, he replied, and you're Aozaki-san, right? For whatever reason, he came across as happy in his response. San wa ii, but she says, don't call me san. That's not my style. Is Shizuki-kun fine? Naniga? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? Okay, this is kind of fun. Hello, did I say something weird? Yeah, very. The boy replied immediately as if it was a natural response, but quickly second-guessed himself. Never mind, that must be normal here. You can call me Shizuki. You mind if I call you Aozaki? Yoroshiku. Shoot yourself. Shoot yourself? She followed her blunt reply with a swift turn away from him. Does she have any Asuka poses? Damn, Nasu just shipped Shinji and Asuka and like wrote the whole novel about it. Sorry. While she was hardly thrilled at the prospect of a task at hand, it has been entrusted to her, and it was her personal policy to see it through to the end. Sorry, but I'm not in the mood for pleasantries. Time is short, so let's get over with it. Sure, I know your time is valuable. Spawn Rancor. Rancor? Rancor. Italian rapper. Meaning? We have an hour, by the way, to stream. Encore. Oh. Feeling of anger. Okay. Uncle Blanc Rancor was lost on him once again. He wouldn't tend to be overly conscious about being ignored, whether form that takes, but despite being peeved at landing none of her attacks, Alko did her best to act professional and directed her guest into the hallway. I like a little bow. I think bow is cute. There was no sight in the hallway, nor any sight of life. This was more like a prison than a cave. That was the meeting room. As it dawned that the hallway matched her model, she signed once again. First thing first, do you understand everything Mr. Yamashiro explained to you? Yeah, I get how the school works. It's still a bit hard to imagine that everyone here is around the same age. I see. Great. Oko rubbed her forehead. The Sojiro kid had no... Sojiro? I think it's Sojiro, right? Sujiro Kid had no idea what he was in for. Apparently, all he'd heard about school was that it was a place where a lot of people met to study. High school teachers imparted the students their knowledge. Okay, he's good. I like him now because he's hilarious. High school teachers impart the students their knowledge in various fields of study while fostering discipline and creativity. But never did Aoko imagine that she would have to explain the concept of school itself to someone. Yes, fundamentals were important, but this was absurd. Was it? Is she stupid a bit? She had serious doubts whether he could handle classes, but Mr. Yamashiro insisted that things would work out somehow. This is insane. Sujiro, anyway, had managed to pass the transfer exam after all, barely. Oh, did he? Okay. I can't with him just like staring into the nothingness, like there is no thought in his eyes. That's amazing. 10 out of 10. Not my problem. Aoko grumbled mentally as she walked down the hallway. She consoled herself with the fact that today would be the only day she spent with the boy out of time, or at least she tried to keep it that way. She doesn't know in what type of garbage she's in. Aozaki? He asked, clearly trying to get her attention. Nani? Can I ask you something? Yeah, what is it? I could be wrong about this, love the eyebrows, but you seem upset about something. You're not a morning person, are you? Your gaze revealed earnest concern, as if asking her if she remembered to eat breakfast. It was like another hammer to her head. This bitch. What is this? What are we having, like a visual novel equivalent of a camera lens change? What is this? Field of view change, huh? It was true that what's next? Dutch angle or whatever the fuck it's called? It was true that Aoko has been glaring at Sujiro the entire time. Glaring red hot daggers, in fact. Not just at him, but in the universe. This is horrible, even on your best days, her roommate used to remark. It's Alice! Most people can handle your skull, Aoko. It wasn't hard for you to be a little more tolerant. You'd be warned that her emotions were so naked on her face that people treated her like a powder keg. How naive could the boy be that he could not pick up on this? Don't know. He's not making fun of me, is he? No, he couldn't be. Even she found her own attempt to reassure herself unconvincing. It began down on Naoko far too late. They compared to her that laid-back transfer student might as well have been from another planet. Look, let me spell it for you because you're not getting it. It's not your imagination. I am angry, and anyone could see that in my eyes. It's easier than trying to make conversation. In response to her words, the Martian clapped his hands together. That makes sense. I don't know why you want to do it this way. But I get that it's a way faster way to express yourself. Sujiro accepted her reasoning without argument, though he still had no idea what kind of emotion she was trying to express. It was as if he could hear the words but didn't grasp the meaning. Ideas that should have connected were instead separated into blocks. So it's true, he really is peculiar. Mr. Yamashio's words made sense to her now. That's what's odd about this boy went far beyond naivety. A stranger in a strange land he may be, but it was only civilized to forgive him some jet lag-induced confusion. Let's visit your classroom. She had regained her composure. Sujiro raised his hand and stopped in his tracks. Just one more thing. Fuck. Aoko waited for Sujiro to continue. The boy was patient to fault. She rubbed your forehead with your hands again, nursing a vague feeling of uneasiness. I wanted to ask, why are you so angry? Is this your line of business? Or does it run in your family? Good writer would just cut the scene in here and we would just transfer. In the next scene would be like two characters already stand in, you know, inside a classroom. Like, scenes doesn't have to have transition in between scenes in them, you know. This was greatly helped the pacing. A long silence. Yep, we don't need that. We get it. We get the comedy here. We get it. Though she knew it wouldn't change the situation, she remembered he regretted answering the phone that morning. He meant no harm. She repeated this thought like a mantra in an attempt to keep her impulses in check. How is she student council president if she's kind of bad with people? It's not you, if that's you're worried about. I'm just trying to think how much better my day would have gone if I'd slept in until noon. Was that vague answer? Is it vague? She started to walk again. She turned her gaze away from this rude stranger named Sujiro Shizuki. While that constitutes normal is certainly up to debate, most would undoubtedly refer to him as so. He was a simple and nice boy with no descript features. Huh. Okay, it's for you to say and for me to judge. If he were an ice cream flavor, he would be vanilla. It's not me who say this, it's you. Okay. Why? Why do you love this garbage protagonist type so much? Look at the nice pleats on her skirt, man. This is good. The Sujiro found Oko to be very businesslike and full of life. There was certain purpose to her movements as they began and ended in an orderly fashion. The way her fingers raced when she pointed at things, the way she made her way across the hallways and classrooms, the way she would occasionally glance back at him to make sure he was keeping pace. Each and every moment was so impressive that he couldn't take his eyes off her. Oh my god. Oko showed him to his homeroom, Class C, of the 11th grade. The room certainly displayed more of a human touch than the previous meeting room, but Sujiro was none the wiser as to its function. Oko gave a brief explanation before they visited the individual subject classroom, as well as the gym, cafeteria, locker room, and school infirmary. Sujiro asked so many questions that much time has passed before they reached the AV room on the second floor. Oh dear. Sujiro stopped, looking genuinely concerned. It's 20 to 1 already. Huh? You're kidding, right? The school isn't that big. We'll be done soon. The tour had begun around 10, which means that 3 hours were passed. Huh? Really? Oh, it was a time. The tour of the school shouldn't take anywhere near this long. Are they stuck? Maybe if you didn't ask so many questions, we'd be done by now. It's a miracle. It's still lights out. Aku glared at Sujiro. She was being sarcastic, of course, knowing full well he would never pick up on it. Is he? To her surprise, he looked down apologetically, unable to hide his dejection. Oops, I think I broke him. The guy before her now was nothing like earlier. In contrast to seeing him once impenetrable Wiener. When they first met, she found herself feeling sympathetic, okay, whatever. Glazing over it, momentarily at least, until her irritation returned to full force. What's the hurry? Don't let me tell you, brain's not big enough to remember all this stuff. Well, there's that, but it's more about it almost being 1 o'clock. Your place wondered, as if worried about something. If he was worried about the weather, he would have a hard time seeing it, as there were no windows in the hallway. Don't tell me you got somewhere better to be? Perfect, I take time out of my day for you, and you don't have the decency to even hang around. A real piece of work, you know that? Thanks, I guess. That's nice of you to say. Not a compliment, she yelled at him, unable to hold back her fury. It's not funny, cut it out. Well, what? What happened in 20 minutes? Sujiro's face lit up as he finally understood what she was asking him. It's a secret, he said with a perfectly straight face.
いつのこういったテンポには失神しそうになる。
This is kind of funny. Okay, they got me. Every time I think I got this guy figured out, he finds a way to trip me up. Her frustration was natural. Nice face. She did everything she could to stifle her feelings and fake a smile.
しずきくん
You want to repeat that, Shizuki? Hold on. Hik. Water. Excuse me. Cough, cough. She took a step forward.
秘密だってば。
Like I said, it's a secret. Feeling the mood change drastically, Sujiro took a step back. And another. No matter how many steps he took back, she kept edging towards him. She was smiling, but he thought he could see the blood boiling beneath her skin.
これ最後の質問。
Last question.
あなた
Do you enjoy mocking me? He had no intentions of mocking her, though. Why is she like this? What does she don't understand about him not getting it? Like, he doesn't get it, man. He doesn't get it. Be easy, be chill. Shouldn't you have experience of working with people? And sometimes people can be, don't get you or be a little slow. Like, why is she like this? Why are you like this, lady? He had no intentions of mocking her, though at this point he doubted presenting any evidence to prove this would do much to erase with that forced smile on her face.
説明する。
Let me explain. His arms raised in surrender. She held at her advance and freed her face from an unseemly smile.
実は1時からアルバイトがあるんだ。
The truth is that my part-time job starts at 1, but students aren't allowed to have jobs,
そ
right?
うだけどあ禁止されて
Yeah,
るから
wait,
秘密
you
に
were
しよう
being
と思って
tight-lipped because you thought you get in trouble? All you have to do is get permission,
知って
dweeb.
る。試験の時に許可をもらってる。
I did. I get permission when they accepted me to the school.
へえ
Really? Oko's face lit up as if she realized she might not be the piece of work she thought him to be. Yet,
しかし、
but I only got permission for one of my jobs. Okay, wait.
一つって
You have more than one job?
これでも2件
Well, I quit 2 of
生
them.
活費だけで
Living expenses are bad enough, but now I have to earn money for school as well. Don't you think it's unreasonable for them to only let me work one job?
あんまりなのはあなたの方だと
No,
思う
I think you're the one who's being unreasonable. Really? He's poor! Oh god, what are you talking about? Though still irritated, her opinion of him changed a little. She was impressed that he was able to take care of his tuition and living expenses on his own. She could also empathize with having no time to oneself. Her anger began to subside. The words part-time job were about the last thing she ever expected to hear out of this country boy's mouth.
そういうことなら仕方
Well,
ない
you
わ
gotta
ね
do what you gotta do, I
いい
guess.
わ
It's
行きなさ
fine.
いよ
You can go. I get it.
青崎はいいのか？
Will you be okay? She had no idea what his question meant, but she at least understood he was trying to be considerate, which also took her by surprise. She figured he'd be just as dense about people's feelings as she was, he was about everything else.
別に
I'll be
私
fine.
もこのまま帰る
I'll just head home. First, though, she thought it's best that they both stop by the faculty room. Mr. Yamashina had mentioned that the transfer procedures had already been completed, so all there remained for him was for him to sign off her duties.
先生
I finished showing him around.
それはお疲
Great
れ様
job. This was for you,
君
Suzuki.
もお疲れ様
What did you think of our
ありがとう
school?
ございます。
Thank you for the tour. It's a real school. Haha, that's great to hear. Okay then, best luck starting tomorrow. She had no interest whatsoever in the pointless wrap-up meeting.
山城先生のことは気にしないでいい
You
わ
have to forgive Mr.
教え
Yamashiro.
子に厄
He
介な
likes the
ことを
faculty room so much he
全然
chooses to
帰ってい
kick
いくらい
back
職
there
員室が
while
好きな
getting
の
his students to do his
何
dirty
時間
work
も
for
待って
him.
るでしょ
I bet he spends hours in here. Wasn't he smoking in there? Isn't this bad?
いえ
Actually, that's pretty smart of him.
そうか。
Okay,
青崎が
Aozaki,
いいんなら
if you're fine with it, then so I am. Hmm? There it was again. Whatever Sujiro was getting at, Aoko had no
そ
idea.
れじゃあ行くよ。
I'm going to get going. Thanks again for
今日
today.
だけよ今日だけ
Yeah, today only. He shooed him away with her hand. His face bent into a broad smile as he found the gesture endearing. It was a softer expression that she had grown accustomed to seeing out of him. It was the kind of smile that would make anyone smile back. Well, most people at least. Aoko Ozaki didn't betray the slightest hint of a smile.
それじゃあまた。
Soreja, mata. See you later. Huh? And with that friendly farewell, Sujiro walked towards the end of the hallway. Or so she thought before he turned into the class over. Did he just... Sojiro headed straight for one of the classroom windows. Whereupon he opened it with ease. Yay, he's going to kill himself. The chilly November air filled the room with a soft sound. Oh, okay, you were so bad, he decided to kill himself. Damn. The chilly November air filled the room as the soft sound of a rain doubled in volume. In that instant, she realized his intentions was opening the window. She really wished he hadn't.
いや待て待て待て
No, stop. She already had one leg out of the window and she dashed to stop him.
何するつもりよあんたは
What do you think you're
何っ
doing?
て
What am
ア
I
ルバイト
doing?
に行くんだけど
I'm leaving for my job. That's
その
what.
窓は人が出入りするところじゃない
Do you
の
know this window isn't an exit,
大体
don't you?
ここ
I
何
mean,
階
do you
だと思
even
ってん
know
の
what floor you're on? She saw the light of understanding dawn in his eyes.
死ぬところだった
Oh my god.
2階から降りたら危なすぎる
Almost died. Who put the exit here? This is dangerous.
あんたの
It's the lack of something between your ears is dangerous. Her assault went right over his head.
あのね
People here don't normally enter and exit through windows, okay? You probably remember this information for future reference.
知ってるよ
Oh,
時間がないんで慌
I
ててたん
know.
だ
I just wanted to save some time. But thanks. I'll be more careful from now on. This is horrible. The clueless face. Oh my god. He pulls his leg back inside and closed the window. His school uniform was soaked wet from the rain.
いいけど私は別に
Hey, be
あ
my
なたが
guest.
どこから外に出よ
Go
うか
outside
関
any
係
way
ない
you like. Just don't do it in front of me.
そ
No.
れより
Anyway, you start school tomorrow, right?
来るよ
I'm a little nervous though, which is why I came in early for the tour. He bid her farewell before running away down the hallway. This is insane, okay? She hoped he would walk down the stairs and leave through the school entrance like a normal person.
大丈夫なのか
I wonder if you're really going to be okay here. The image of him disappearing into the distance popped into her head despite of her ire. In spite. She had no intentions of spending any more time with him, and yet she felt strangely anxious. Gulp gulp. She couldn't tell if the feeling was fueled by concern or irritation. Why had she even gotten angry with this insignificant transfer student in the first place? A strange day with a strange transfer student resulting in strange emotions. Strange fake, as they say. Her head tilted as she reflected on what should have been more enjoyable day than irritating experience she just had.
いっか
Well,
ど
whatever.
うせこれっきり
It's
な
not
んだ
as if I'll see him again. She doesn't know. The sound of rain echoes quietly all around her. The grey skies seemed frozen in time. It was impossible to discern whether it was morning or evening. Mr. Yamashiro and Naoko were likely the only ones left at school. The unlit classroom looked overly gloomy and ominous as Naoko stood in it alone. She pulled up her left sleeve. Her dainty, unremarkable watch showed as if it was almost 1 o'clock. He was right about the time. She looked out of the window at the grounds below. She saw a boy in uniform running through the rain without an umbrella. A sight she must have seen before, but for whatever reason affected her far more than she wished. Lovely autosave. Naoko did not stop by the faculty room before heading home. You can just cut from scene to scene without having a transitionary period here, you know? We don't need it. While Mr. Yamashiro's offer to drive her home was tempting, she decided it would ultimately be far more satisfying to ruin his day just as he is hers. She walked as quietly as she could towards the entrance and opened her bright red umbrella. She had predicted this morning the rain was waning in the afternoon. At this rate, it would probably cease completely in another hour or so. The distant sunshine would likely have reached her by the time she arrived home.
ま
If only she
そ
slept
れ
all
も
this
悪く
time.
ないか
Well, I suppose it could be worse. She shrugged her shoulders in resignation. She neither liked nor disliked rain, but she found herself enjoying her walk home with her red umbrella in hand. Oh no, she's home, okay. The teacher at High School, Misaki, okay. High school weren't fond of bright colors, so Oko's red umbrella was an unusual sight. A ghost story about how the umbrella was once pure white had been making the rounds, but it featured Hoko instead of a ghost. It was with the umbrella that she made her way towards Misaki Station. I like this umbrella. Misaki Private High School took its namesake from its town it was. The area was once a sprawl of farmland and woodland, but rapid growth over the last 10 years had led to unprecedented modernization. There were some who fought to preserve Misaki's natural treasures. I agree in principle to preserving the land, but not at the expense of our prosperity. With those words, the major snuffed out the voices of the minority and ushered in a long-term plan for an urban development. Let's go! They addressed the urbanism. More than enough funds for the urban development were collected, and the unassuming town of Misaki became the largest municipality of Misaki City in merely 10 years, even though it lacked the modernity of neighboring Yashiroki or the elegance of Misaki Hills.
それも当然よね。
What did people expect? To keep the town hidden on top of the mountain forever? It's not like they're gonna flatten the mountain or something. Urbanization has been contained to the lowland around the station, with most of the hills and mountains still standing as they did 10 years prior. The exhaustion of funds succeeded in protecting the old Misaki where citizens could not. It became a truly odd suburban town, welcoming an increasingly urban population with its vestiges of old country charm. Misaki High School was a private school established long before the town's current state. The original campus, built 50 years ago, was located high up in the mountains, making its current location its second incarnation. Oh, the path to the old ground was not only steep and remote, it had become an overgrown game trail with the passage of time. Where's your... We did not saw her, roommate, right, Alice? For these reasons, among others, Misaki High School has been shattered until almost 20 years ago, when it received a donation from a department store chains that allowed for the construction of a new campus in the city, And thus, Misaki High School reopened its doors, the woodland campus forgotten. In fact, is this how you read those kanjis? Is this really how you read those kanjis? Hold on, we can do a quick... Oh, it means private. Okay, I see. Oh, this is Misaki. Oh, Shiritsu Misaki. Shiritsu Misaki. Daku something. Gakujo. Or is it Gakko? Is it Gakko? It is Gakko. My bad. It's Gakko. Private school. In fact, most of the students attending Misaki High School were not from Misaki at all. The hardly rustic people in the country town preferred prefectural schools to private ones. Yeah, it is private. Here we go. We're so smart. Truth be told, Aoki herself was one of them. All she had wanted after junior high was to move to Tokyo, where she hoped to spend her days touring her favorite bands on her way to entering public university. But her hopes were dashed with her sister's departure, so she was walking alone in town with only a red umbrella to keep her company on what should have been a day off.
思い返してみると
Looking back to it now, it's like my whole life has been one disaster after another. Your frustration evaporates into the cold December air.
でもま、いっか
Oh well, at least it's not boring. With those words, her mood brightened a bit since she left the school in her wake. The busier part of town met her at the bottom of the gently sloping road. Sloping? Beep boop. Do we really need this? Why am I watching anime? Loki something. Niseki train station was brand new. Once looking no prettier than an abandoned factory, it has been renovated into a multi-purpose structure with huge department stores on its east and west sides. When the department stores first opened, Aoko and her friends had been impressed with her modern feel, but in time, the stores too became dated. She had no shopping to do today, so she passed them by. What she really wanted to do was rest at a cafe, but she fought the urge, knowing her roommate would never let you hear the end of it if she frittered away her money. Oh? Really? Really? She looked back and blinked. For just a moment, she could have sworn she had seen some suspicious in a red dress out of the corner of her eyes. This is very atmospheric. It must have been her imagination. Yep, the sixth sense chill she was experiencing down her spine was a familiar one at this point, and then she saw a lady in a long skirt with white hair and red eyes who just immediately got her attention. The urge to follow her. The urge was unstoppable. The opening for Tsukihime is pretty good. She continued her manga on brushing off the events as if it had never happened. In time, the chill faded. All that was left was the sound of a town. She sighed heavily. Did she imagine it? Even if it had all been in her head, she was far from comfortable with the feeling. Oh! Okay, hold on. Hold on. But your hopes were dashed with your sister's departure. Really? I thought she was the older sister. But Toko is the older sister, or whatever her name is. Was it Toko? Toko Ozaki? Even if it had all been in her head, she was far from comfortable with the feeling that still lingered.
夏場の方ってもう少しこう
Nice. Even mosquitoes have the grace to buzz off eventually. She grumbled under her breath.
波乱万丈
Whether good or bad, this too shall pass, so the saying goes.
忙しさに愚痴を言っても始まらないわ
Yeah, I'm busy enough as it is. Unfortunately, summer and bugs go hand in hand. She could see how bugs could be drawn to all the sweet fruit. Was she seeing ghosts? This is nice. When quiz grease and hid, the kitchen was closed for the time being. The lunch rush has come and gone. But one last battle remained, dinner time. Only after the evening chaos could be the kitchen crew remote with their white armor and call it a day. In the midst of a war zone was a lone newcomer. Oh, it's him!
これ着るんですか
Do I have to wear this? His voice was uneasy, betraying how new he was.
気持ちはわかる
I know how you feel, man. I feel the same. Unfortunately, it's the boss orders, so you'll have to suck it up, okay? The future of the shop and arcade at stake, apparently. I really hate to ask, but the rain has stopped, so would you mind going out for me? Get back in one piece, and I'll buy you dinner. His bright orange coworker grasped his hand together as if to beg forgiveness as he shuddered him with an unreasonable task. Ten years ago, Misagi City was a town of farm and woodland. We know! But everything had changed. The front of the station was now lined with a tall multi-story building at a residential area. I already read it before! We're similarly full of apartment complexes. I could just see it. I could see it with my eyes. It's right here. Anyway, nobody edits this. This needs an editor. This really needs an editor. The one rustic scenery The once rustic scenery around the station had long become a thing of the past. Shiroi-no-zuka was the only place in the city that still contained vestiges of Old Town, a pocket of the past inside an urban jungle. The road extended up conspicuously high hill to an old residential district far from the rustle and bustle of the train station. Long ago, it has been considered unwise to build on high ground, so nobody lived above this certain elevation. Shiro-ino-zuka, sitting as it did atop of the hill in the middle of a town, was no exception to the convention and had no resistances to speak of. Residences. this is it. Probably the asphalt continued for some time, eventually giving way to a mountain road that was swallowed into the corner of trees. A lone vending machine stood to mark the boundary between town and beyond. Even the children knew that there was nothing beyond the new playground in development that so enthralled them. Well, that was not entirely true. There was nothing beside the haunted house. It's a mansion. We call it a mansion. Aoka Ozaki traversed the lone slope. Below her, she could see the hall of Misaki. The symmetrical town looked like a miniature set from the height. Oh, I would love to go to a place like this. This is so nice. Oh, I love stuff on the hills. I love stuff on the hills. I love it when you can see the whole town from up the hill. Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice. Dangerous as fuck, but nice. It would look like a painting if there had been a sea next to it, but unfortunately Misaki City was very landlocked. While it was overcast at the moment, the scene was quite breathtaking on clear evening. Heck, I have a question. Is it more dangerous when it's earthquake to be near the mountain or no? I keep hicking. I'm sorry. Is it dangerous to be near replicant near mountain while earthquake? Not the most gracefully worded question. In event of an earthquake, is it safer to be on a hill, Reddit, mountain, or in a valley? Answers? I trust Reddit to answer this. Too many factors unknown to say. If it's a valley below a hill that will came in and cause a landslide, this is bad. If you're on a hill that slides, this is bad. Mountains may also share off the parts you are on. Silty valleys, floors, and shorelines tend to liquefy during earthquakes, but solid rock foundations tend to distribute the shock waves of an earthquake more. Okay. Okay, I see. That's interesting. Well, then there's quarter answer. No music, kinda. Generally speaking, mountain is safer. Once you're about 5-10 miles from the epicenter, the surface wave die out and shaking is due to the body waves. Body waves? Odds are that you will likely be outside of the epicenter zone. Inside the epicenter zone, things are chaotic. I wonder how people predict. How people predict the earthquakes. Maybe we should look into it. This is pretty interesting. The view was one thing that made the ordeals climb worthwhile. Oh my god. And today she had been denied even that.
雨の日は自転車も使えないし、一日に2回ぐらいバスでも通っ
I'd
てくれ
cycle
ないの
home
か
if it
な。
wasn't for the rain. Even a bus route would be a fine thing. Rocco had been using those roads to get to school for almost 2 years now, but the journey had never gotten easier. Yeah, I get it.
あれ、鍵閉まったまま？
Oh, it's locked?
アリス、まだ帰ってきてないんだ。
Yes, Alice isn't back yet. With a weary shrug, she pulled her hand on the rusty iron fence. Quietly, the heavy gates swung open as if to welcome her home. Nice. Yay! Yay, it's Clary Duluth! There sits atop the hill a haunted house. That is how the story, much shared around the town, used to begin. But fresh rumors about the house had sprung to life almost as fast as the town's modernization. Despite being dilapidated and abandoned for many years, lights can be seen inside the house at night. The angry murder of crows. Murder? Oh, murder of crows often gathers atop the hill before them mysteriously vanishing. Children get lost in the fog, never to be seen again. Late at night, shrieking sound can be heard all the way to town. This particular piece of slander was the one Oko wished to discredit the most. The final rumor was of an eye-catching luxury car that sometimes made its way up and down the hill. Somebody's friend? Aoko's sister? Toko is quite old here, right? I think they mentioned in Garden of Sinners that Aoko is a more successful magician? Maybe? I don't know. The rumors spread and grew by the day, and while they grew, the house that everyone thought had rotted away was restored over the recent years. Deep in the wood, on top of a hill no one dared to approach. Like a ruin, shrouded from a view even on the brightest of days, stood a relic out of time, a building from a fairy tale. The house. Hausu! Good morning. Was Kwanji Mansion. Can somebody say this out loud? I do not trust this transliteration. Everyone in town knew about the witch's house on the hill. It was an unabashedly haunted house where Aoko Ozaki resided for reasons known only to her. Needless to say, it was not really haunted. The Kuonji family home was a grand western-style mansion with a long and storied history stretching all the way back to England. It was too small to be a dormitory, yet too big to be called a house. The main building contained as many as 3 normal houses worth of rooms and was surrounded by a large, all-encompassing courtyard, The perimeter of the grounds was surrounded by a high iron fence covered in thorny vines. There was also an annex to the main building. Given such extravaganza, it was no wonder that it inspired rumors. To the town residents, the mere existence of such a lavish and out-of-place mansion on top of the hill was a cause for suspicion. Rumors, lies, and slander were the prices to be paid for fame. With only 2 lodgers, it was hard to disagree with the perception that vampires must be living here.
ま、私はともかく、アリスはそういうのになりかねないし。
I know I'm not one, but Alice? Arisu. She put her hand on the front door. It was a grand double door that would have paired well with a brass lock, and yet it was secured with little more than a simple keyhole. No maids, no servants. Pushing it open with one hand, she entered the supposedly haunted house. And by the way, if vampires were not enough to scare you, ghosts were known to appear on certain nights. Nice. Much like the weather outside, the foyer was overcast with shades of grey. Perhaps by deliberate design, the architect had chosen not to include any lights in the entrance area. The ceiling was 2 floors high. The only light in the room came from the skylight. It was particularly gloomy on rainy days. On moonless nights, it was like the world itself ceased to be. Aoko decided the drawing room to the east would be a good place to rest, but knowing that she would not be able to relax until she changed clothes, she started up the stairs. The stairs curled up the wall to the 2nd floor hall. There was a 3rd floor attic as well, accessible from the far end of the hall. She had never set foot in there in 2 years she had lived here, though. I love this cover of the back of the stairs, it looks so nice. The Kuonji mansion was more or less divided into 2 wings, east and west. Aoko has been given the entire east wing, but 2 rooms were more than enough as far as she was concerned. She had no desire to open a door that would trap you in a storybook world or lead to an attic that had only been used for storage these past 5 years, whatever it says. Nice slide. Ako's room was at the end of the east wing's long corridor. She had elected the smaller room for no other reason than she thought it would be easier to clean. I like that both Tsukihime and this is set kinda in a mansion-like area. Mansions are cool. I can understand if somebody's like, I'm into mansions. Mansions are really cool. Ah! It was furnished with a large bed, her beloved mahogany desk, mahogany desk, a wardrobe and chest for her clothes. Chest? I think in 2026, having a chest for clothes would be a vibe, and 2 9-shelf bookcases. That was an extent of what she brought from home. Her entire life of 16 years reduced to this. She also borrowed the next room down for her own purposes. Is she playing guitar? Oh yeah, I should check on the watchtower I got from Alice. She runs. Ooh. She needed to see if the project she had been working on all night had borne fruit. Look at the beautiful tree. Globe? A thingy for vinyl player. A study next door served as a proof of life she had been living for the last year, and how different that life was from the one she had lived before. It was not a room for the person she had been. It was a room for the person she would eventually become, a place of solitude that only she could enter, or so she thought. Aoko is Kinzo. Wow, not only did it break, it vanished without a trace. Looks like I've still got a long way to go. Go ahead, laugh it up, Robin. The noisy neighbor that had intruded upon her sanctuary flew away. While not exceptionally talented, Aoko did not lack for effort and was not afraid to fail. One could have almost mistaken her approach for optimism. She changed. Ooh, this is the turtleneck she was wearing in the Tsukihime, is it? She changed her. No, she was wearing a shirt. Okay, I'm wrong. Wrong. She changed her uniform and returned to the first floor. Well, not horny. That's good. That's good. Down the stairs, she opened the door to the east wing into the corridor as dark as cellar. The absence of windows meant it was pitch black without the lights on, so she flickered the switch and entered the nearby doorway. Does not give a shit about electricity. Life without electricity. I don't even want to imagine it. It had been her idea to update the drawing room. The walls were decorated with extravagant patterns, and around the room were large, majestic sofas and a luxurious Persian rug. Amidst it all was a 30-inch television that seemed completely out of place. Ooh, this is a nice room. It's not looking over the other furniture like the emperor with no clothes. The mansion's owner would have rather done without it, but to a commoner like Aoko, it was an essential commodity. They had fought over its present at first, but eventually came to an agreement and now mutually enjoyed this modern comfort. Guess someone to talk. I came from a pretty traditional household myself. Now, in a somewhat pleasant mood, she decided to brew some tea. She boiled some water in the kitchen, prepared the teapot, and made herself some black tea. We don't need to read it, but okay. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. With a flop, she sunk onto the sofa. She took a sip of her tea, then another. And she turned on the channel to watch some Super Sentai. Is she? Nice scenery change. I like when weekends have different time of the day background. It's nice. Little by the ticking of the clock, she took a third sip as she pondered how to spend her afternoon. The sofa almost seemed to be inviting her, and she sunk in farther into its comforting embrace. It's her! It's her! It's her! It's her! Olga barely opened her eyes as she lifted her body up from the cushions, and it's her! It's her! The This was no dream or illusion. At some point, a girl had sat across from her. Not the latest bit surprised, she reached out for her teacup, but the TV then had gone completely cold. Did I doze off? She asked the question to the girl on the other side of the table. Yes, the girl answered without lifting her gaze. Look at her, she's so cute, her cute dress. When silent, she would have been mistaken for a beautiful doll. The girl sitting on the opposite sofa was reading an old book. She had delicate limbs and pale white skin, not a hint of humanity emaned from her melancholic aura. She had darker hair than Aoko, and her icy eyes were focused on the pages in front of her. Her clothes resembled that of a nun, but were actually her school uniform. In Aoko's humble opinion, the gloominess suited her. She evoked something, like out of the painting. There was something unreal about her, as if she were frozen in time. The white of her gently arched cheek was so lonely that even Aoko found herself enchanted by it. The girl has one of the haunted house's 2 residents. Her name was Alice Kunoji, and she was the same age as Aoko.
私どれくらい寝てた？
How long was I asleep? Was I
1
asleep?
時間と少し。
At least an hour. You'll catch a cold if you keep sleeping here. Alice answered indifferent. Why Japanese people always say you catch a cold if you not sleep in your bed? Like, what's the point? It's the same as people say, oh, you catch a cold if you sleep under katatsu. Like, why? Is there like a stray winds? Is the windows not good enough? Not tight enough? Is there like Alice answered indifferently, not that bothered Aoko, who was now used to it. She looked at the clock on the wall and saw that it was already 7. She had been asleep for 2 hours. The day has been a rough one for her, and she had slept. Look at her, she's so cute. She's so cute. And the day has been a rough one for her, and she had slept little the night before, so it was no surprise. Why couldn't she sleep? But it was no surprise that she had dozed off for as long as she had.
起こしてくれてもよかったのに。
You could have woken me
バ
up.
カの紅茶が冷めちゃったじゃない。
Now it's tea's cold.
私が来た時はもう
It was already cold by the time I got
でしょ
here.
うね。
I'm sure it was. I'm just saying. Yoko drank down the rest of her cold tea in one gulp. In a poorly heated Koenji. Oh, it was poorly heated. Okay, I see. My bad. Koenji mentioned that was more than enough to clear her head and wake
こう
up.
なると。
Nothing quite beats the tea, not even the expensive kind from Britain. Britain?
おかえりアリス。
Okaeri, Arisu. Anyway, welcome home, Alice. The universe seems determined to keep me from even an occasional luxury. Without you.
今日は薬日か天中殺。
What is about today?
ちょっと早い
If
け
it's
ど。
just my luck or what, at this rate, I'm due a temple visit just to be safe. Uncle shrugged her shoulders as if resigning herself to her fate.
それで何があったの？
Something happened? After 2 years together, they knew each other quite well. Oko had only had one way of asking questions, and Alice had another. Alice asked without raising her head, and Oko gave her the details.
まず謝らなくちゃいけない。
I should start by
昨日徹
apologizing.
夜で完成さ
The
せた
project I
例
was
の
working on all night was still a failure. I only took my eyes off of it for a second, but I think it boiled over and fell
そう
apart.
ならないよう
No,
循環の
I'll
コー
add
ドを
that I
2、3本
suffered
外したり縫合したりしたんだ。
circulation codes as a precaution. Oko tried to laugh it off as if it was someone else's problem.
どういうこと？
And
今朝休養が入って
something came up this morning, and I was called into school. They made me show this transfer student around, and it took up my whole day. By the time I go back, it had vanished without a trace.
アリス、
You're not mad, are you?
別に
Hardly.
青子の器物
I get mad every time you broke something. There would be no
一
end
生分の
to the
代
fighting.
用品はあるから。
I have more material, so we can just start over.
それより
But
怒って
Ice,
るのはあなたの
however,
方じゃない。
aren't you really the one who's angry?
うん
Alice was very much on point today. It's true that despite outward appearances, Aoko was seething with frustration. We should end. That aside.
ええ、
True enough, the transfer student I mentioned earlier was a real piece of work.
すごい山奥で暮
He's
らし
been
てた
living
らし
deep
く
in
て
the mountains and has literally zero common sense. I know people say that the mountains are like an entirely different world, but I had no idea how true it was, Alice. Alice raised her head in response to hearing her name. But I could keep going on before she could get a word in edgewise. Oko, after all, expected no sympathy in the first place.
初対面から尺に触るやつだった
We
けど
didn't get along from the start, but things really took a turn for the worse when I took him to
こい
classroom.
つ
He apparently thought it was a place where you get one-on-one tutoring, and that's not all. I mean, you're never gonna believe this.
で私が簡潔かつ丁寧
What do you think he asked when I politely explained what a classroom is to him?
それで青崎
He goes,
他の教室
but
は
then-
何に使うんだ
what are other classrooms for?
ですって
Unbelievable, right?
教室に
I
他も何
mean,
も
a
ない
classroom is a classroom.
なんていうか
And no matter how big or unhelpful anything I said was, he just kept nodding.
何も疑問に思わない
It's
という
like
か
he was just taking everything at face value. I don't know if he just lacks in imagination or never uses it.
まあ
Anyway,
一度言ったこと
he
は
at least
ちゃん
seemed
と
to
分かっ
grasp
てるっ
most
ぽ
of
い
what I
から
told him the first time
分かってるわ
around,
け
so I
じゃない
suppose he's not a complete idiot.
あなたが人を批評
It's
するの
straight
は
to see you
珍
so
しい
judgmental. Is it really worth getting worked up over something like that?
みじんたりとも気
I
にし
couldn't
ない
care less about him. I just worried he'd screw up somehow. What she really was worried about was having to clean up that mess if and when it happened. That has to be it. If not, it would mean she had no real idea why she could not get him out of his head.
とにかく
Of
変
her
なや
head?
つも
Of
案外アリスと気が合うかも
him out of his head. She could not get him out of his head. Okay. Well, he was a weirdo, alright. You two would probably hit it off great.
三問以外はいいこと
Another word in the mountains doesn't sound bad. But from her eyes it was clear that the question of whether they would get along was irrelevant, given that they would never meet in the first place. Oh, they don't know. They didn't know what piece of fiction they're in. Aku gave a communal response.
ところでアリス
Anyway,
さっきから何読んでるの
what have you been
霊
reading?
的進化論の二次創作
A book about spiritual evolution based off spiritual diary.
ああスウェーデンドリー
Ah, Swedenborg, huh? That really was reading again?
新書なら退屈だけ
It
ど
wouldn't bother if
これは偽書
it
だから
were the original, but this is a
彼の
knockoff.
欠点と長
It
所を
exaggerates the
劇的に
pros and
褒め
cons
ている
of Swedenborg's style
よくできた
and
冒
reads
険
like a
小説
well-written
のよう
adventure. Even the secret
立ちはだかる
organization
秘密組織の名前が
doing in his way was a nice addition. Huh?
筆跡は
The handwriting of the
あなたのお
notes
じい
in the
さん
margin belongs to your grandfather, by the way.
へえ
I had no idea he was into that sort of
割とユ
thing.
ーモアがあっ
He
た
had a
んだ
great sense of humor. I
惜し
really
い人
miss
をな
him.
くしたわ
So the person in the beginning was not Alice, Alco, right? Should we end? I think we should end. Need to go do stuff. Sorry for having shitty stream. Sorry for being bad at reading. Sorry for being motion sick. Sorry. Sorry. See you next time. We're gonna play more at Outer Wilds, and if I'm gonna get motion sick again, I'm gonna feel it with Mahoyo no Yoru. Here we go, variety streamer. See you then. Bye bye.